able to see my screen now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, there it is. All right. It says find the volume of the figure after it's rotated around the axis. So there's a revolution here like this. Do you know what it becomes when it's rotated? Can you give me the name?
Rectangular prism?
It's a cylinder.
A cylinder?
Yeah. You act surprised. I can certainly understand that. Trying to think how to do this. If you were to roll up a piece of paper, you would see that, I guess. So it is a cylinder. That's probably the reason for the issue here. So a rectangle or a square revolved around an axis is a cylinder.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the dimensions here that matter here, the radius is 3. The radius is whatever this height is, whatever this dimension is here. Now the height, even though it's on its side, is the 8.
Okay.
So the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. You want to calculate that for us, and I'll do the same. We'll see what we come up with.
All right. Okay, so 9 plus 5. Yeah. 9 5,000 times 8. 22 226.20.
Okay. So it's 194. Like you don't actually care what's to the right of you just write the first 3 digits. Okay. Now in this case, because it's nearest 100, that's 2 digits. So 1 and 9, this 4 drops out. So it's 226 right here. What are the units of this? Well, it gives you right there, cubic units. Is that clear about the rounding? Because I know if you look at the number, you got more decimal places, it rounds up to 195, but you can't do that. You have to go to just the one after the one that it asks for.
Oh, I wouldn't round that up to the 2.
No, so the 100th is 2 decimal places.
Okay.
And
even though the okay, that makes more sense.
You just look at the next digit. Like it doesn't matter if there's a 9 there, 9 there, 9 there, 9 there. If it's 2 decimal places, you just look at the next one.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's kind of a simplistic rule. Like maybe it doesn't make sense, but it is a very simplistic rule. Okay.
Okay.
Now, before we go into another problem here, let me just check here. If I rotate a triangle,
that would give me a cone.
Cone, yes. Right? Okay. All right. Question 4. So 4 is what I just mentioned. So what is the volume formula for a cone?
Radius pi times the height divided by 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, so here's how I would prefer you learn it. 1/3 pi r squared h. And the reason is this is the standard way it's going to be presented to you. And it's really similar to a cone. I'm sorry, to a cylinder. So this is for a cone. For a cylinder, it's pi r squared h. Do you see the similarities?
Yes, I do.
And that's one reason I want you to know it this way. Now, one of the things that I bet you didn't do is I bet you didn't draw the cone.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Now, and I bet you didn't know to draw the cylinder, but you've got to draw the shape that it becomes. What is the height of this cone?
9.
Very good. What is the radius?
5.
Yes. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so from here, I used to have a chemistry instructor who said, you're just plugging it in, you're putting these into the the given equation now. Now you're rounding to the nearest hundredth. So when you get your number in your calculator, please go to the 3 decimal places and then decide what to round to.
3 decimal places?
Well, no, you're rounding to 2, but you go out to the 3rd decimal place.
Oh, okay. All right then. So it'll be pi times 9 divided by 3. 235.62.
Yes. Where do you think you went wrong when you first did this problem?
I think I forgot to do the 1/3.
Okay. All right. So number 6 will be the next one here. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Find the missing side of the triangular base figure, given the volume of the triangular prism is 170 meters cubed. Okay. There's a couple of ways to do this. Do you want to tell me how you tried to do this? What you
Yeah, first I did divide 170 by 10,
Okay.
right? That gave me 17. And then I did 17 times 2, right?
Okay.
And then that gave me 32. I mean 34. And
Okay.
I did 34 divided by 4. And then that gave me shoot hold on. 34 divided by 4. That I got 8.5.
Okay. And then you wrote 4.25 in your answer for some reason, because what you just said is
yeah,
correct.
no, I had to do that in half. I had to half that.
So you actually already accounted for the half right here. Now, so let me show you how I would prefer you to do this problem.
Mhm.
Volume is the area of the base times the height. Okay. So the best and the brightest math, physics, engineering, they always start with the governing equation. This is the governing equation. Okay. The base is a triangle, 1/2 base times height. Okay.
Okay.
So let's call, it doesn't really matter, but let's call this B and this H over here. The H up here that I'm circling is the 10. Okay, so we could change the letter, but we'll just put it in for 10 right here. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Now the volume is 170.
So
The
do
H,
170 divided by 10.
hang on. We're gonna get to that because you said all the right things, but then you added another one in there. So you're right. You first divide by 10. Do you remember what the next thing you told me that you did is? You got rid of this 1/2
Yeah,
by multiplying
I
by 2, which is
doubled
true.
it.
That's just true. 34 equals B times 4. See how I've already accounted for the 1/2 in the equation?
Yeah.
Okay, so B times 4 is divided by 4. So that's B equals 17 over 2 or 8.5.
Okay, so I just halved it one too many times.
Well, but I don't think you know why. And I think that's bigger issues. You've got to start with the governing equation. You have to start with an equation to do this correctly. Like I know they're only grading the final answer, and that's fine. I mean, that's you're gonna get that for the rest of your life in math classes because the way it is. But like if someone looking at your work, they want to see the steps, they want to see the sequence. Okay. Because you said all the right things, because I could tell you were undoing these things here, but for some reason you felt like you had to do it again, and you didn't really have a way to trace through to know if it was right or not. And that's what bothered me about what you did. So we'll maybe do another problem like that if we've got time, but let's go on to number 7 if you're ready for it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So the thing that this is the thing that's probably really challenging about this is they don't do a very good job of showing you what it is. It's a cylinder
Mm-hmm.
with a height of 60 and a diameter of 20. And then and this is not to scale, but I'm just going to draw it a little larger. This is the hemisphere on top, half sphere. Its
Mm-hmm.
diameter is also 20. Okay. So let's do one at a time. Let's find the volume of the cylinder. What's the formula for the volume of a cylinder?
It is 20
No,
uh
formula. Governing,
oh
overarching governing formula.
base times height divided by
No,
one half.
pi r squared h. Pi r squared
Oh,
h.
pi r squared h, yeah.
Okay, so I think we need to take a moment here and actually just write the formulas of some of these. The volume of a prism is length times width times height. There's
Okay.
also the volume of a prism, which is the area of the base times the height. These are exactly the same. It just depends on what kind of prism you have. Okay.
Okay.
Have you been doing any pyramids? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay. So the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the area of the base times the height.
Okay.
Can you see why I made it under this one on the right here?
Yeah,
It's
because
very
they're
similar to
exactly
that.
the same except for the 1/3 part,
Very good.
which I
Yes.
think I'm confusing.
Okay. Volume of a cylinder, pi r squared h. Pi r squared h. Like sometimes in
Mm-hmm.
math, you just have to repeat a formula, even if you don't fully understand it until you do understand it, then you'll be glad
Mm-hmm.
you know it. Volume of a cone, 1/3 pi r squared h.
Okay.
And there's a
So
reason I keep putting them over here. It's because these are in some ways,
exactly the same.
yeah, they're somewhat related. Yeah. Now the last one, put it back over here on the left, the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. You are responsible for knowing all of these.
Okay. So I think I need like a note card or something. Should I
Yes.
get like a note?
Right. So like you probably did take a learner's permit test, right? You had to, go
Mm-hmm.
online, do
Yeah.
some practice. Like how did you learn that, you can't I don't know, within a crosswalk, or you got to turn your turn signal on within, 300 feet. That's probably not even right of the light. But like, how do you remember important stuff?
Um, well, I just gotta repeat it over and over again
Okay.
until it becomes second nature.
So have mom and dad test you, um, write it down, write it down
Mm-hmm.
again. Like you got to roll out of bed in the morning and know this stuff. You got to like, as someone could say, what's the volume of a cylinder? And you're like pi r squared h. Like that's how
Mm-hmm.
you gotta know it that fast.
Okay. So,
So let's go
uh,
back to your problem. Your problem here is pi r squared h. The h is 60. What is the radius? And it's not 20, because the 20 is the
um,
diameter of
it would
the
be 10.
10. So I want, and we're going to do this exactly. So it's pi 10 squared times 60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Since this becomes 100 times 60, it's 6,000 pi for the moment. We're gonna put in the calculator after we do this other one.
Okay. So first I need to do the 10 squared. That gives me 100. And then I do 6,000. It'll be 6,000 pi.
Yeah, and for right now, just leave it like that. We'll get to the approximation, but okay. Now for the volume of a sphere,
Mm-hmm.
this is where you gotta be like, all right, it's 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, you gotta know it that well. But this is not a full sphere, is it?
No.
It's half a sphere, so you're gonna take half.
Okay, so I do the volume of the sphere, but just half it instead.
That's right. What is the radius of this sphere?
10 still.
Yes. Yes, this ends up being 2/3 pi 10 cubed, or 2/3 1000 pi.
Yep. And then do I need to find the 2/3 of the
Well,
1000 or?
you're gonna add these together. So you're gonna go to your calculator
Oh,
and you wait till the end to do the calculation. So um, actually, this one doesn't say to round, so I don't really know.
but it would basically just be 7,000, and then I do divide that by 2/3.
No, you have to take 2/3 of 1,000 and then add them. What was because you do have to round, it just doesn't say what to round to. Let's just go right to your calculator. 6,000 pi plus
Mm-hmm.
2/3.
Pi.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
Six.
go ahead and just
Okay, so 6,000 pi, which is 18,849 plus 2/3 of 1,000, which is just 666. So and then what do I do about the pi? Just leave it?
no, you got to multiply by pi. Like here's what I'm trying to get you to. I guess I didn't make this clear. Let me just bring this down. You want to put, I don't know, what kind of calculator are you using? TI.
Not just a scientific calculator. That's all I have.
Okay, so that's where this is going to be problematic. When you say scientific, like
I
is
have
it a
a
TI
I
30?
no, it's just like some basic one.
Okay. Well, that's not good. No,
But
so
we
here's what.
have graphing calculators at school though, but right now I'm just using some basic one.
Okay, so here's, and this is a factoring thing. Here's what you want to do. You want to take 2/3 of 1,000.
Okay. So that'd be 666.66.
Well, I would just keep going. So like do 2/3 of 1,000 in your calculator and hit enter.
Mm-hmm.
Then add
Okay.
6,000 and hit enter, and then
Mm-hmm.
multiply by pi and hit enter.
Okay, and 20,941.85.
So here's what I got, and again, it may be just a rounding issue, but we're really close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
Yeah,
don't
I
have the
think.
advantage of like I'm using a computer, but um, that's yeah. Let's not overgeneralize that. Okay, you ready to look at 8? Any questions on that? You ready to look at 8?
Yeah, I'm good on 8. I,
Oh, 8's good.
yeah,
Okay, so you want
I
us to go
think
to
the one
9?
after that one is the one that's hard.
Okay. All right, a gold bar is a rectangular prism and it has a length of 11 meters, a width of 9 meters, and a height of 13 meters. This would be really good to draw a picture of. So I like to draw the front face, which is the rectangular prism part, length of 11, width 9. Now, if you don't like where those are, you can change them. That doesn't matter. The
Mm-hmm.
height of the prism, in the end, like it really depends on, yeah, if you really don't like the fact that I'm putting the height over here, well, I can change it, but this is, it has 3 dimensions that you care about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the volume of a prism is length times width times height.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I do 9 times 11 times 13, right?
Okay, so go ahead and give me the result of that, please.
1,287, and then I divide that by 10, right? 10 grams.
No, you gotta be careful here. So that's the volume in meters cubed. Okay, is that all right?
Okay.
Now, density is mass divided by volume.
Mhm.
Okay, what are we solving for in this problem? What are we supposed to be finding?
The mass.
The mass. So the mass is really density times volume.
Oh, okay.
So the
So
density
I
is 10.
divided it, and then it will be it's uh density's 10, and then the volume is 12.87, which would give me 12 1 10 wait, no, yeah. Uh shoot. Yeah, 12,870
Okay. And that's in grams.
grams. Okay.
If you're curious, I'd look up what the value of a gram of gold is. You might find this is quite substantial. Okay, 10. We don't have time to go through everything else, so you're gonna have to pick and choose here. What's the next one you want us to do?
Can we do like the very last one, 15?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you might mention to mom and dad that this was not enough time, especially when we're going through a bunch of questions like this. Find the volume of the hexagonal prism given the radius is 25 centimeters. That's not right. Not drawn to scale. There's something not right about this. If this is 7, there's no way this can be 25.
I guess that's why she said not drawn to scale.
It's too large. I mean, you can't even get there.
Oh,
It's impossible. There's an impossibility about this. So let's do another problem. Let's
okay.
and I would ask in class because there's something else here that's not right.
Okay. I guess can we do 12 then?
Yes. Okay, use the volume of the pyramid below. Do not enter or find the volume. Okay, so the volume of a pyramid is the area of the base times the height. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the base is a square. Do you see that?
Yeah, so just be 100.
10 times 10. What is the height?
18.
Now I messed this up here. It's 1/3. 1/3.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I probably did what you did. So you can actually take 1/3 of the 18.
I did 1/2. That's where I
Okay.
messed up.
Yeah, and you'll learn that if you take calculus 3, 2 or 3, you'll learn that why that is. But this is
Okay.
600 is your final answer.
Yeah, 600. Okay.
All right, so we do have to stop here.